My name is Don Takacs. I'm president of Elite Casino Events. We're an entertainment company in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and we also have a subsidiary company, Emmy Photo Booth, that was developed via Photomasters products. What made me decide to start my business? Well, I have been on both sides of these industries for 30 plus years. I was in hospitality and I was also in gaming, and it was just a natural fit for me. I was working in the casinos for about 10 years. And when I decided that I wanted to leave corporate and have my own business again, it was just a natural for me to do casino themed parties, bring in the hospitality. I have a background in photography, so it just all came together beautifully. And I've been doing that for 7 years now. We're going into our 8th year. What do I love most about this business and this industry? It's about people and it's about connecting with each other and engagement. And this thing right here is a way that we connect with each other. And we're so technical in everything. And we really take time to sit down and have a cup of coffee with someone or lunch. And it's just that people meet people, and doing parties, I am the conductor and I bring them together. And I get to see and witness the tears and the joy and the happiness and those priceless moments that, especially with the photo booth, that people are taking. I see brides taking pictures with their grandmother that's 95 years old and she can barely walk. And those are things that are priceless. There's no value that you can attribute to that. And to be a part of that and help be the conductor to bring that all together is absolutely priceless. And that is the non-monetary value in what I do. And you have to have that in any business. You have to have a passion for involvement, and you have to have something that makes you get up, and it's the first thing that you do in the morning when you wake up, and it's the last thing you think about before you go to bed at night. And it gets you excited and enthusiastic about what you do, and it's bringing people together and letting them celebrate life. That's what this is all about. When I get both photo booths at a college party and you have 30, 40 people trying to get in the photo, and they'll grab anything from a prop. They'll grab things that are not props for props. They'll grab each other for props. It's a comical moment, and I love seeing that. But I think of all the events that are my favorite, I did a bat mitzvah last year for a young lady, and we used the green screen effect because her mother wanted to do Julia and Around the World with Julia for her bat mitzvah. And Julia selected the different places that she wanted to take and be with her friends. So we went to Peru, we went to Italy, we went to Spain, we went to all her favorite places. And so she was able to get pictures with all of her friends in all those different places as a memory from her bat mitzvah. And those kids loved it. The smiles and the laughter and everything that I mentioned earlier, they just adored it. And it was probably my most memorable moment. One of the great things about this product is that it's so self-contained once you get everything going. If you have and I always am careful to pick attendants that are perfect for the crowd. So if it's children, I pick someone that's good with children, and they love it so much that they behave themselves so that they can keep using it. It's really not that bad. Some people I think are no kids, but I think it's all in how you plan your event. And part of that planning is picking the right person to be the attendant. If you need someone with extra patience, and that's good with kids, or if you need someone that can handle alcohol influenced adults, whichever it is. Any great milestones with my business and things, the greatest milestones in our business, I think when you get the phone call from an NFL player or Wiz Khalifa and they want to book a party with you, that's pretty big. We've been in a movie before. We've been hired to be in a movie before. As I said before, we've done a lot of, all the sports teams locally here in Pittsburgh. We worked with them. But I think, and part of the fun of doing this is sometimes, that milestone is you don't even know you're there until you're there. In the case of Wiz Khalifa, we didn't know that it was he who booked us until we got there. And then all my employees are like, Do you know who that is?" And I'm like, "Not really." No, I don't. But so as far as my overall best achievement, best goal, I really think in volume and rate of return that the photo booth, bringing that on and adding it to our pilot of what we do as entertainers, it just brought us to the next level, and that's what I was hoping to achieve, and it did. As far as dollar volume, rate of return for investment, so it really kicked us into that next gear of what I wanted. I mean, there's a lot of people that do this as a sideline. They have a day job and they do this on the weekends. For us, this is a full-time job. This is all we do. And so it's really important that we hit those numbers and that we're breaking those milestones. And with Photo Masters, I was able to, bump our revenue 100,000 in 1 year. That's a lot. That's a lot, considering there's only 52 weeks in a year, and typically you only have events on the weekends. So that's a lot. Like, I have a lot of younger, the women's group that I mentor, and they get scared when a corporate name contacts them, whether it's a big oil and gas company or a media company, and it's a recognizable name, and they get it. How do I respond, Don? What do I do? And I was, just be yourself. It's a person on the other end of the computer. Treat them like a person. Be frank, be honest, be forthright. Tell them like it is. Tell them things that maybe you don't want to tell them, but just be yourself and let that shine through. The difference between you and the other company is you. It's good sales. It's good sales. Being frank and being forthright and honest, and no, I can't do that, but I can do this, and all of those things. And people want to type a long proposal. I was like, nobody's going to read that. Keep it short and sweet. Your whole objective is to create a conversation. You want to create that camaraderie, and the best way to do that is to get to the point. They don't want to read all the bells and whistles. They want to hire you, the professional, and trust you that you can do your job. Take that away from them. You don't know how many event planners have come up to me at the end of event and said, first time in my life that I've ever had an event so flawless, no problems, and I didn't have to do anything, and you did everything, and I love you for that. And that's exactly, who I want to be and what I want to do. I want to take that pressure off of them, and so that they get all the glory from their boss, because what do? They book us again next year. And what features or products convinced me to buy PhotoMasters products? When I started looking for a photo booth, and I looked for quite some time. I didn't just buy immediately. I started looking for a long time. And I remember my husband came home from a wedding and he said, I found the photo booth that you want. And I was like, really? And he's like, yes. He's like, it's a mirror photo booth. And he explained all the features to me. And from that conversation, we got online and we started shopping. And I worked with you on our first purchase, and that was July 17. And I am a little bit tech savvy, but I'm not a millennial tech savvy. I'm not, I have people that I delegate things to. So I was a little bit concerned about that. But once we got it here and we set it up and we started using it, and you see the expression on the face of people that use it and the enjoyment that they get out of it, whether it's children or adults or elder, and you see the wow factor that it brings to the event. I mean, it's absolutely the wow factor. There's no other way to describe it. And it was it. That was it. And we have brought that so much into our business that it has become a staple. So we do 5 casino games and a photo booth, and it's a package that we sell. So you don't get one without the other. They come together, and it's a nice balance because not everybody wants gaming and not everybody's a photo booth person. So we've got a little bit of entertainment to suit everybody at your party, and their needs. And yeah, I absolutely, I love that you guys stay ahead of the curve on the technology, and that you're always thinking forward, and you're not comfortable with it. This is the package, this is what it is, and we're going to be running with this for the next year. Like, you guys are literally doing updates and changing things faster than I can keep up with it. But that's because the standard is so high. and the bar is so high that Boz wants excellence in what he does. And so he's always striving for, let's raise the bar, let's raise the bar. I was floored when I saw that he did the touch free QR code for the COVID crisis. How ingenious was that? Like, to know and to anticipate that we were going to have these problems going forward, and to help us all solve this problem of the objection that we're going to get from the customer. Well, we don't want people touching things. Da 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 da. Boom, problem solved. I love that about this company. I am so glad that we brought this product. I have had every other photo booth company contact me and try and sell me product. When you have the best, you don't need anything else. You don't, once you have the best, why go to, I don't want half service and half product from somebody else. Okay. What impact did Photo Masters have on my business? For one, it opened up a whole new market for us. We were able to go into the weddings category with Emmy Photo Booth. So where Elite Casino Events does casino parties, mainly most of our clients are corporate clients. And so we're busy from October to April, and then we die off from April until September, and that's our down season. We were able to fill that whole spring and summer with the Photo Masters product and Emmy Photo Booth and doing weddings. And it had such an impact on our business that we created its own brand with Emmy Photo Booth, because people were going to our website and looking for the photo booth and was confused. So we had to create Elite's Magical Mirror Experience Emmy Photo Booth, and created its own brand just for weddings. And like I said earlier, our first year that we had Photo Masters, we had $100,000 increase in revenue. That's huge. And it also additionally increased our margins, because our cost of the goods sold on our casino games and the cost of our goods sold on our photo booth is so drastic. It's drastically different. Our margin is like 80% on the photo booth, or it's like, I'm going to say 30% on the casino game. So we have a greater margin. So it benefits us when we add the photo booth to our casino games, because it bumps up our overall margin. Did I find the products durable at events and during transport? Yes. We have had one photo booth since 2017. I'm going to say the first year we had 52 to 60 events with that one booth, and then we bought a second one. My husband's pretty rough on that booth. He manhandles it. He's not afraid to pull it hard, or pop it up on the truck. He does not handle it like a girl. He handles it like a man, and it's so far so well. We haven't had any problems that I recall that we had to replace or anything. Nope. Nothing of that sort. And again, we've had one booth for 2 years. I mean, everything ages in time. Your laptop, everything that you have begins to show a little bit of wear. But that's why I started making covers for the booth, so that if the booth's back was faced to the crowd, I could camouflage any little scratches or anything that it had from transport. But as far as the component itself and being intact and holding up, no, we've had no problems. Can I share some memorable insights or events where I got assistance from the support team? And yes, absolutely. So I first want to say that I probably would have returned this product without support, because support for Photo Masters is second to none. They have got me through every event, and I've done literally hundreds of events, and they're prompt to answer, they're prompt to respond. They get in and they handle the problem for you. If they don't know the problem, they seek out someone that might be able to have insight on that problem for you. They're patient. You're stressed because you're at an event and you want everything to be working perfectly, and you can't get it working perfectly. And the calmness in their voice that they emulate down to you brings you to a level where you're calm. I'm going to say that Greg is a doll. And I remember one event in particular that it was a wedding, and I was there a couple hours early, which you should always be early, right? And we set everything up, and my laptop crashed. For some reason, the PhotoMaster software just was gone, just crashed, and I had no Wi-Fi. No Wi-Fi. So that's a really bad place to be because I can't get support to help me. So I had a couple hours before the wedding. So we set up the mirror booth and the props and everything. I got in the car. I drove 20 minutes away to a truck stop that had Wi Fi. And I got Greg on with the laptop to download the software, reload the software, put in my workflow, make sure that everything was working perfectly. Got back to the wedding, plugged it in, put a smile on my face, and we had a Sherry. I tell people in this business, you're a fireman. You're always on fire, and you have to have that mentality. You have to realize that there's going to be problems. You're going to forget a wire. You're going to forget this. You're going to, there's an absent-minded moment that it happens, and you just have to be savvy enough to say, okay, what do I do? How do I get out of this? How do I solve this problem? I have never had, and I want to make sure that this is very clear for you. I have never had a situation with the Mirror Photo booth where support was not able to help me solve that problem in 2 years. And I've had some printing problems. I've had some computer problems. I've had some workflow problems. I've had probably every problem there is. And I have always been able to solve the problem via support. Even in the case that I didn't have Wi-Fi, where he's like, "Can you get to Wi-Fi?" And that's what we did. I want to shout out to Leah, Leor, oh gosh, all of them. They're just, you have an incredible team, and Boz does a really great job of hiring people that are patient, they're kind, they're very detailed in what they do, and they have that way of calming you down and letting you know, hey, I'm going to get you through this. I am not going to leave you behind. And that's really important. How did I find the PhotoMasters Facebook community helpful through the last few years? It's absolutely a godsend, because many times I've been on site and maybe I did have a Wi-Fi problem and it was a simple fix, something that needed fix. I could post a message in the group and some of the other owners would comment and say, "Oh, Dawn, you just need to change your settings on your workflow and that'll fix your problem." Or I've been able to obtain marketing advice and help from some of the other owners. And there's Sammy, in the very beginning, he was such a great mentor to everybody and helping everybody out. And there's people in there that are like that, not just him, but others that want to mentor you and help you and let you know that you're not alone, and that whatever you're going through, that they've gone through it and they're here to help. And I see them as a collaboration, not competitors. What are my near future goals? So the elephant in the room is the crisis that we're going through with COVID. And I first want to be, just kind of sit this one out. I'm fortunate that our company has done really well and that my husband and I can just lay low and sit this one out until everybody's feeling better about doing events. And I don't anticipate that until December, maybe even after the new year. And that makes me a little sad. But I mean, this is part of running a business and you have to plan for that. And that's why, booking the photo booth at a lower amount, in the end, it doesn't help you. You get that immediate booking maybe for $600 for 2 or 3 hours, but you don't have that money saved so that you can endure something like this. And that's critical. That's how you run a business. And my immediate goals through this is to get through this, to get there, to get my brides and my couples through this and let them know, hey, we're still going to be here next year. We're not going anywhere. Making sure I'm sending personal messages or gifts to them, letting them know that everything's good on our end. And I think, and one of my personal goals and professional goals through all of this is, I think that we're going to have an incredible 2021. And I anticipate that the volume and the need for this product and products like it is going to be off the chain, because I think that our society right now, we're just so out of our norm. And once we get back into our norm, everybody's going to want to celebrate. Everyone's going to want to party. And I want to be prepared for that. So my goal I don't mean to be rambling on, but my goal is to make sure that we're prepared for that, that we have enough photo booth equipment, that we have enough staff, that everything's up to speed, that we're familiar with all the updates on the software, and that we're good to go. And because I think it's going to be a shorter booking process, because right now our booking process is 3 months, 6 months to a year out, especially for weddings. But I think as we get closer to 2021, I think you're going to see shorter windows and more immediate bookings. And so I think it's really important that all of the mirror booth owners be prepared for that and get ready, because I think they're in for a ride. What advice could I give somebody starting out? I will say that I think that it's really important to put everything down in writing, even if it's on a notebook, pen and paper, what your budget is, what you're spending, what you need for everything to start your business. Because I think a lot of people maybe just budget for just the product and they don't realize that they need a website and they need some marketing dollars, especially as we go into 2021. And they need a backup fund, they need the insurances, they all the things that go with this. You're not just buying a photo booth, adding water, and you're in business. It takes more than that, and you have to allow for that budget. You have to set your goal of what you want to make, which we don't achieve those goals unless we set them, right? But additionally, you still have to set a budget and work within that budget and make sure that you've covered everything. And if you're not sure if you've covered everything, maybe reach out to one of the other owners and say, this is my budget for my business for the year. Would you take a look at it and let me know if I'm missing anything, if there's anything obvious that I may be missing out on, that I'm not paying attention to, that would be an expense that I should know about. But I think, you have to know what numbers you want to do and what your numbers are going to be, and make sure that that's your starting place. You can't go anywhere unless you have that. And it's sad, because it's kind of like, you've bought the product before the plan. And so even when I bought my first booth, even though I had an already existing business, I was like, okay, I'm going to pay for it this way, and this is what we're going to book it at, and this is how we're going to get there. And then a lot of people also, they don't understand that length of time that it takes for you to start getting those bookings, that it's 3 months, 6 months. They think they get that photo booth and bam, their friends are all going to start booking it and they're going to start making money. And what they don't realize is a business is a plan and it has a timeline, and you need to allow for that. And you need to make sure that you have enough money and funds to survive that as well, especially with what's happening in the world today. I feel for the owners that bought their booths in January and February and were anticipating starting to do events immediately. I mean, you need the what my husband calls it, the GNW, the God knows what fund. For this product, as far as execution on it, I know a lot of owners are kind of like, they want to be owner operated. They want to go in and set up the booth and be the one doing the booth themselves. And I personally have found it's better for us to delegate. And my husband does setup and delivery. I oversee everything pre-event, like the workflows and everything, and make sure they're on point. I check them when we get there. But then we like to pass the baton to a happy face, because if we got caught in traffic, or there was a problem getting there, or we forgot something and had to go back, or the printer's not working, or we need to get on the line with support, and it's been a stressful day, and we've had 6 hours of stress, that it's hard to shake that off. And I found that it's really good for the company, and it doesn't cost that much to have somebody come in and be your photo booth attendant for a couple hours. You're talking $20 an hour. It's 3 hours, 4 hours. It's well worth the money. Work it into your price, because having that person that has high energy and that you can just pass the baton to and say, we're going to get a drink and have some dinner because we just had, been working on this for 2 hours. I think that that's an invaluable way for you to build a solid brand. And I will say one more thing also, and I think this is very important advice. You're only as good as your last referral in this business. So asking people, calling them out and asking them, did you enjoy the service today? How was the event for you? Oh, we loved it. It was fabulous. As soon as they say that to you, make sure you come back and say, would you mind writing a review for us on Google or Yelp or Facebook? Because I've built my business 100% on those reviews. We have over 300 five-star reviews on all the different platforms, and it's probably closer to 400 at this point. And you are only as good as your last performance. And especially with the younger generation, the brides that you're booking, they look at all of that. So don't neglect to ask. When they compliment you and they say that they've enjoyed the booth and that they've had a good time, I think the most important thing, the next thing out of your mouth should be, would you please write a review for me? I have a small business and it would mean so much to me if you would take the time to do that. And it doesn't have to be long, it can be one sentence, but just a review would be so great for me. And if you say that at that moment when they're complimenting you, you usually get it. Just make sure you follow up with that email afterwards with the links. That's it.